welcome back. Last lesson what we have learnt? Finally we have achieved independence. So we all people shall be very grateful to all those freedom fighters, those who have struggled long to get independence for us. Is it sufficient to get freedom? Is it? That means shall we stop over there? After we get the freedom, do we get everything? That is the question. No, definitely we will not get all the things with freedom only. After the freedom also, what exactly the people wanted, what for the freedom fighters fought, everything we should get. And for that, just by saying, just if they say anything, okay, we will do like this, means that cannot be authenticative. So we need authenticative promises. What are those authenticative promises? What are the rights the people shall have? If the rights are violated, how they should fight? Second thing is, what are the functions of the government? If the government is not functioning properly, what we should do? Means everything should be in an order. So that is what we call that as the constitution. So the Constitution of India is very, very essential at the time of preparation of preparation of a new India, because till then we suffered a lot in the hands of the Britishers. They governed us according to their own constitution. Whether that suits the Indian people or not, that never they have cared for. So we need to go or frame our own rules. This is really a great task that has been given by the people to these newly formed India. Okay, fine. But what is this constitution? What is the importance of the constitution? How do we understand that? Suppose you imagine that you have come to school by 9 o'clock. By 9 you are in the school, and when 9 o'clock when you have entered into the class, you don't have any timetable. Suddenly social madam has come. She started teaching the lesson, the making of independent India's constitution. Meanwhile, what happened? As there is no timetable, suddenly English sir has come. English sir started teaching on the other part of the board. Okay, meanwhile biology madam has come. Biology madam, she thought that I don't need any table, so she started standing over there and she started teaching biology. At a time in the same class, 3 classes are going on. Which subject will you listen? How much do you understand? And everybody, after the 3 classes are over, every teacher, they left the class and they went away. Then what happens? Then from then onwards, you don't have any class, any teacher to teach you. The total time is wasted. And is the time that is spent for learning that particular subject, is that useful? Even that is also not useful. Why? Because you did not understand anything. Social, English, biology, blah blah blah, something is going on. So you may get confusion that when I say that constitution, biology madam is saying about the reproduction and English sir is teaching about the attitude is altitude. They all are combined together. So you will understand finally that constitution is prepared by a highest personality which is associated with the reproduction of the animals. Means there is no meaning at all. Understand? So it is very, very essential to have certain rules and regulations and to see that certain mechanism should be there to implement all these rules and regulations properly. That is very, very important. That is very, very important. So, a mechanism should be there to see that these rules and regulations are followed properly, first thing. Second thing is the rules and regulations should be in favor of the people, second thing. Third thing is these rules and regulations, they are to be written. Like this, three tasks are there. Three tasks are there for the proper functioning of the government in India. That particular Indian government to choose the rights or the functions, the structure, etc., etc. So for that, how these all the things are achieved, how all these things are achieved, that we are going to learn in this lesson. The making of independent India's constitution. Means this lesson is how did we make the independent India's constitution, who are engaged in that work, first thing. Second thing is what are the things that they have incorporated into that. Are they acceptable to the people? So many questions are there. So we are going to learn all those things. We are going to learn all those things. But before we go deep into this particular making of independent India's constitution, I would like to ask you one question. That is, have you ever heard the name preamble? Preamble. Preamble means the foreword of the document constitution. Means it is nothing but the total gist what was promised to the people. So, do you know how the preamble of India starts? Do you know how the preamble of India starts? Yes, you are right. The preamble starts, we, the people of India, solemnly resolve ourselves into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. This is the preamble of today. But previously, first, when the constitution was prepared at that particular time, two words are not there. There were only three words. We, the people of India, solemnly resolve ourselves into a sovereign democratic republic. Means later they have added these two words. You remember this, okay? And the next thing is, not only that, what is this explaining about? This is explaining about the nature of the government of India. What is the government of India's nature? Sovereign. What is the nature of the government? Democratic, and is a republic. Means elected government, elected by the people, from the people, and of the people. And of the people. So, like this, this government is elected, formed by the government, and at the same time it is sovereign, complete authority in taking the decisions. No others can interfere, no other foreign countries can rule, or no other foreign countries have any say in the decision making process. All the decisions are taken by the Indian government only. They are not dictated by any of the others. This is the meaning of sovereign. So, sovereign, democratic, republic form of government we have chosen. We can clearly see in the preamble. That means the preamble explains the nature of the government, first thing. Second thing is, the preamble also explains about the rights of the people, about the aspirations of the people. So, let us see what is that was written after that. After that, immediately after that, we promise to all the people equality, liberty, fraternity, justice. Means all the people of India, they enjoy equal rights. They have freedom, and they have been given the social justice. Justice in the form of social justice, economic justice, in all the other forms. So, like this, the preamble reads out by giving out the details what exactly the citizens aspire for, what exactly the citizens are promised. At the same time, what is the nature of the government. All these things are very clearly explained in the preamble itself. Okay, so preamble is the foreword. Why we need to understand the preamble? What is the reason? See, not only Indian preamble, but we have the other preambles also. The Nepal preamble is there. The Nepal preamble, they clearly emphasizes that we, the people of Nepal, inherent all these constitution today, which aspires for the removal of any kind of inequalities, gender, region, religion, or the racist. So I told you one particular thing, that is here, what is that I am saying that pledging to accomplish the progressive restructuring of the state in order to solve the problems existing in the country relating to class, ethnicity, religion and gender. Means what is that it is telling? It is telling that to solve the problems of the inequalities in the class, ethnicity, religion and gender. Means here the constitution of Nepal, what is that it is promising? It is promising that pledging to accomplish, that means we are taking a oath. What is that? To accomplish, to get the progressive restructuring, means they are going to restructure the government in such a way that it will march towards the progressive restructuring of the state. Why? In order to solve the problems of already existing, in order to solve the problems that are already existing with reference to the class, religion, ethnicity and gender. So, this preamble explains about what exactly are the problems in the country, how they have to be solved by the constitution. So, that means we can see very clearly that the preamble reflects the aspirations of the people. The preamble reflects the past experiences of the people, the past, previously, what the people have experienced, how the people have suffered. All these things are explained when we look carefully into the preamble. We need to look carefully into the preamble. At the same time, in this Nepal, that means in the Nepal, we can see very clearly that the government has been promised, even by the constitution. What is that? It has promised that it will form a republican form of government. How that also? A federal democratic republican form of government. Means the federal means division of powers. So, federal, democratic and republican form of government is promised to the government by the constitution. Actually, who adopts this constitution? Definitely the people only. The people of Nepal only has taken this decision of forming this government. Is that clear? So, let us look on to this because we are very new to know Nepal. Let us see what has happened in Nepal. So, you know very well that Nepal is the Hindu nation. All the means the government is following the principles of the Hinduism, and that is a monarchical form of government. There in Nepal, they have a monarchical form of government. That means a king or the hereditary rule was there. So, king or hereditary rule, and this particular rule will be taking all the necessary steps. Now, in the year 1959, means after the Second World War, many of the nations they have emerged into democratic countries, including India, 1947. So by looking onto all these things, the people they started struggling or fighting against the government. Hence, for the first time in the year 1959, elections were conducted by the king, the then king. Means what? They have accepted, the king has accepted that they wanted to remove this monarchical form and give place for an elected government. Means hereditary rule. They wanted to keep a full stop for this hereditary rule and they wanted to go for the elections. Hence, for the first time in the year 1959, the elections were conducted under the leadership of King Mahendra. So, King Mahendra, he conducted elections, but they were a failure. Within 1 year, that means this particular elected government was culminated and once again king started ruling. Means what happened? The particular elected government was not given full powers. Many of the powers were in the hands of the king only. That is the reason what happened 1959 elections and the formed government was a failure. And later the people they started struggling against this and finally once again they have to conduct elections in the year 1991. Once again they have conducted elections in the year 1991. With this what happened? 1991 elections. With these elections 1991 slowly they have revived or they started going for the reforms in the country. They went for the reforms in the government and here the Congress Party of Nepal, they won the elections and they have formed the government. So, who formed the government in the year 1991 in Nepal? The Congress Party of Nepal, they formed the government. But even here also, many of the powers are in the hands of the king only and this republic which was formed has a limited scope or limited powers. Hence, the Communist Party which is established in Nepal, they started struggling against this particular rule. They started feeling that it should not happen. The monarchy or the king shall not have any powers. All the powers should go into the hands of the king only. Like that they started struggling. Now with this what happened? The government or the monarchical government, they have to think about that. They started suppressing this and this has caused the violation of the human rights. Many things happened. But the people and their struggles, they forced the Nepal government to form abolish this monarchy and form a complete federal democratic republic form of government with a constitution in the year 2007. Means what has happened? By 2007, they are able to establish a perfect democratic government. Was that a successful thing? We can't say that is a successful thing because up to 2018 they did not finalize the constitution because there were several debates. Actually, what should be given, what are the things to be incorporated into the constitution, what powers are to be given to the government, which powers are to be enjoyed by the people. Like this, there were several difference of opinions. Congress Party of Nepal, Communist Party, Democratic Party, like this, all these parties in Nepal were fighting against one another. Hence, they could not come onto an uniform opinion. That is the reason what happened in Nepal. Though the Democratic Republic was established by 2007, they are unable to form a complete government. They are unable to form a complete government or complete constitutional government. They are unable to complete the making of the constitution. Is that clear? So like that, but even then it is a great success in Nepal. The preamble is nothing but the reflection of the past experiences of the people. In Nepal, you see that the people, they fought against the monarchy. And hence what happened in the preamble, we can see very clearly that they wanted to form a federal, democratic, republican form of government. So means what is here we can see very clearly is that is this federal democratic republic is sought by the people by fighting against the monarch. This is what, when we look on to that, we can see the incidences that forced the people to go for this. Means past experiences also we can see very clearly with the help of the preamble. Is that clear? Okay, now what exactly is the people wanted in that? That is also seen in the preamble. What is that they wanted? The preamble, see what they have given to the people. The people, this particular government, whatever the government that is formed, they will fight to solve the problems. They will march forward. They will march forward towards a progress by solving the problems of class, ethnicity, gender and religion. Understand? You know very well, Japan, which is an imperialistic country, participated in the elections, and they have formed the elected government that is called as a Diet. Diet is the representative national assembly of this Japan. But Japan, they have adopted another form of government. Of course, that is a democratic government, that is constitutional monarchy. They have adopted for the constitutional monarchy. So, a constitutional monarchy was adopted by these Japanese people. And so, we can see very clearly that they have clearly mentioned, the Japanese people, what exactly they wanted. The preamble, if you read the preamble, it is very clearly that the fruits of this fruitful cooperation, the fruits of peaceful cooperation with all nations, and the blessings of liberty throughout this land, resolved that never again shall we be visited with the horrors of war. Once again I repeat, never again shall we be visited by the horrors of war. And there they have mentioned clearly that the fruits of peace and cooperation with the nations will be enjoyed. That means the Japanese preamble, it is reflecting what are the horrors that the people of Japan has experienced. Japan, Nagasaki and Hiroshima destruction has caused a lots of long time effect, and this thing has forced the government or has forced the people to take a decision that never we should be imperialistic, never we should go and occupy the other nations. In the name of occupation, in the name of this imperialism, they have caused lots of damage to the people and to the development of the country. So they understood that, hence they have very clearly mentioned that what is that they have mentioned? Fruits of the peaceful cooperation with the other nations, and never shall be visited by the horrors of war. These two words are very important in the preamble of Japan. So Japan also has given out or has come out with certain decisions. And then what is the form of the government that this Japan has adopted? Constitutional monarch. That means of course monarchy is there, but at the same time a constitution where the rights of the people, the powers of the government was prescribed, and the monarchy or the king has very limited powers. The king has very limited powers. Diet is this parliament of Japan. Like this, the preamble reflects the aspirations of the people. The preamble reflects the past experiences of the people, what has happened previously, the aspirations, the hopes of the people, what exactly the people wanted from the government, and what are the promises that are given by the constitution to the people, or what are the promises that are given by the government to the people. These three parts can be clearly seen with the help of the preamble. That is why preamble of the constitution is very, very essential, because we can't read a voluminous content that is given in the constitution, nobody. But on the whole, what are the things that are given? What are the previous experiences that forced the government to take the formation of the constitution? What are the different struggles that was laid? Everything can be understood if we deeply see into this preamble. So these are, that means the preamble or the forward marching of any country, all these things they are meant for the people only. Here, after reading these three preambles, once if you observe, only Indian Constitution preamble reads that we the people of India solemnly resolve ourselves. That means this constitution was also adopted and given or the highest representation was made by the people only. That is why they mention very clearly that we the people of India solemnly resolve ourselves. Understand? So these are the different aspects that are related with the preamble. That is why the example of the preamble, if you understand, that promotes us to understand the nature of the government, the different parts of the government. Okay, and in the coming classes we will understand what are the different forms of the government that were chosen by the people in India. What are the main content, that is making of independent India's constitution, how the Indian constitution was made. All these things that we will be learning in the coming part. So what did we learn today? We have learnt that after we got independence in the year 1947, there is a great task on the shoulders of the people and also the government. So for that, to fulfill these, the government or the people, they have decided that we shall have a written form of code, a written form of the rules and regulations. And in that constitution also, the preamble, the first or foreword of that constitution explains about the nature of the government, about the nature of the promises that are given to the people, about the struggles that the people faced to fight for independence or to fight for their own to fulfill their aspirations. So these are the things, and here when we compare all the three preambles, they are reflecting the peace. Japan has shown very clearly that the past experience of the destruction of war, and Nepal has shown very clearly that they wanted to fight for the end of the class society, and they wanted to by removing all the problems with reference to the class, ethnicity, gender and religion. And after that Indian constitution, it clearly emphasizes what exactly are the things that are granted to the people for the enjoyment of a complete rule by them. These are the different things that are associated with the preamble. In the next class, we will learn how the constitution was made.